right, so let's run through this. I'm going to breeze right through this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on anything. In particular, if you have specific questions or comments, please post them or reach out to me directly. I can be reached right here privately at castlehomesma@gmail.com. So our economic rebound is continuing. November we're up 34%. Looks like December, these are preliminary reads. They will be readjusted at some point, so don't get too hung up on this number specifically, but we have done some very nice rebounding, another 36% or so, which gives us a strong couple 3 months to close out the quarter. Unemployment, using the U6 number, which is proven to be far more realistic, we're at 12% here in November versus 12.1 in October, so that's pretty much leveled off. August 12.8, and so we're pretty much leveling off around 12%. Mortgages in forbearance, we had 5.49% as of 12/21, which is pretty much holding steady for the past month, but lower than some of these other months. So we're doing better. Overview from Black Knight. You can see the month-to-month change. Things are getting better. We want these numbers to keep going down, but year over year, of course, they're just awful. Properties past due, properties past 90 days due. It's not good. Mortgage rates continue to drop lower and lower and lower every week. I personally think about refinancing my own home, and I just say, well, why bother? Next week it'll be lower. Next month it'll be lower. Not entirely sure where this merry-go-round ends, but you can see this very recent activity for the past year, 2 years, has been straight down. All right, new construction. We are doing mortgage applications are up 34%, 35% from November, and actually down 16% from October last month, but still up way over 2019's pace. There's just ridiculous amounts of demand, and it doesn't seem to have any let up. New construction sales, new home sales were up 20.8% year over year in November. Year-to-date sales are up 19.1% over 2019, so that is very impressive. You can see all the outperformance in the red is 2020. We continue to just walk all over 2019. New construction, single-family houses sold went from 50 to 59,000, which is up 18% over last year. You see this chart. It's a nice rising channel. Looks like that will continue to keep booming. New construction stats, you can see sold, privately owned in purple, which are starts, which is what we're looking for. Building permits is another one we're looking for to know that there's a pipeline of new housing coming. You see the solds and you see the starts here. And this is just the longer view chart. This is in response to the pandemic. The permits and starts are just booming, and we need those to start translating into completions and solds. And here we are, new construction by price. The two most popular are the purple and whatever you call this color, magenta. I don't know. Median prices are up 2.23% from November last year. So those haven't yet gone crazy as the existing homes have, but I would expect that to start pumping up. Months on market for new construction, we range between 3 to 3.6 last year, and November we were right at 3.6. All right, and existing family stock of houses, mortgage applications again continues to just boom at 26% over last year. Median existing sales prices, up 15% over last year, which is nuts. We were at 273.8, and now we're pushing 320. And here's existing home sales. Again, red is 2020. And you can see outperform COVID. Now we're starting to outperform again in a big way. All right, and transactions, meaning just the number of houses being turned over and sold, again, up 26%, 26%, 21%, 10%. These are big numbers. We don't normally see these crazy changes, but that's a direct result of COVID, and you see all the negatives from the spring. And here's your number 5.3. This is, again, a seasonally adjusted rate. You need to be careful with these. Seasonal adjustments are just not built for major changes and swings like we're experiencing. So new home listings for existing homes, we are still down 8.7%, we'll call it, over last year. We're at 345,996. We're at 315,924. So this typical spring and summer bump never happened. Median days on market, we are about 18% shorter than we were last year, meaning houses are taking less time to sell, less time to list, less time to get offers, less time to process and actually close. Inventory on existing homes is 2.3 months, whereas last year we were 3.7 months. And then here in Massachusetts, here's our economy. I'm going to zoom in here real quick. If I can get this all in one shot, I can. So if you've been following this series, the red are the COVID-sensitive jobs. I added in the orange for construction because there was a lot of shutdowns in Boston anyways, and I thought that perhaps that was a good idea to add that in just to see what happened with the stats. You could make a case for a lot of these categories that maybe they do have some COVID sensitivity. So we did increase overall 1.13% from October to November. In red, the COVID sensitive jobs, we lost 1.39%. If you factor in the construction jobs, we only lost 0.62%. And overall, the change from January, right? So January to November, that comparison, you see all these numbers are down. I don't think that there's one of them that's positive. The federal government didn't change much, of course. But as of a whole, Massachusetts is down 7.49%, and these COVID-sensitive jobs are down 22%, or 20% factoring construction. So Massachusetts initial unemployment claims, this was a big number, and we're leveling out around 23,000. That's been fairly consistent, a little bounce around. And we had a tick up here in the fall, and it looks like that's gone back down. Continuous unemployment claims, we peaked at 16.68, which is right here about, and we're currently at 4.5, call it. All right, new construction permits. This is the only gauge I have to measure new construction processes in the Bay State. We're 516, which is an improvement of 15.44%, call it 415.5. And we have been zooming here, and hopefully that continues as there's just more demand than builders can build. But you see, for the past couple decades, I always like to go back to these longer charts. From the 90s to the 2000s, we were somewhere around, we'll call it 1.2 is maybe the median, million, 1.2, something like that, if you average out all these lines. And now we're way the heck down here between 4 and 6, and we're barely cracking 800. So we got a lot of work to do. All right, now we just have my quick numbers. The realtors versus the Warren Group. The realtors is just limited to the MLS transaction, so that's a good proxy for the retail market. And the Warren Group is every transfer that gets registered, regardless of how it was found or sold or bought. So median prices have skyrocketed at 18.5% from last year, and the 12-month rolling average is still up 10%, which is big. And you can see that right here. And you see the 12-month median price is starting to take off. And this is the same information, just a different chart that helps you visualize things. So we've had in the past, 5 years, we've had 2 negative reads, and everything else has been positive. And you can see they just continue to group positive, positive, positive right here. Group median price for the Warren Group, and this is the entirety, is at almost 18% versus where we have 18.5%. So that tells you the difference between the retail market and the everything market. But again, we're definitely up. I want to get a different color. Okay. And median price, 12-month rolling. This doesn't happen. This does not happen. And it's 100% nuts because your friend COVID. All right, closed sales for the month of November. We closed 5,322, which is plus 18% from November 2019. You see it right here. This line is sloping up, so we are selling more homes. And again, same information, just a different graph. We've had positive reads since July. And now this is the closed sales year-to-date versus the prior period year-to-date. We have finally eclipsed last year's pace. We're basically right on it. And this is starting from negative 20% back in May. So we've done a lot of work to catch up, and now we've surpassed it. And I'm willing to wager that we will surpass it again in December for the calendar year. 12-month average, we finally went positive for November. Again, rolling 12-month average, and you can see it here. And it's just gone straight up in the past couple months, right? And then Warren Group closed sales, 5,773, which is 25% over this time last year. New listings, 4,224, which is actually an improvement over last year, but still not nearly enough to satisfy the demand. And that's why the prices continue to skyrocket. And new listings 12-month average, we are still on a rolling basis negative for the year. And that shows up here in inventory. If you're not getting new listings, if all of these reads are negative, then of course your inventory is going to be negative. This is pretty crazy. These percentages, we just don't see that. Until we get more homes for sale to balance out the demand, prices are just going to continue to rise. This is the same information, just in a different format. I mean, here we are since COVID, totally killing everything. Month supply is 1.1 months, which is ridiculous. This is a new chart that I've incorporated. This is existing home inventory as a percentage of households in the United States. So this is taking this inventory, and we get the read in July. So it's this number, 7514, divided by the number of households in the state as of July. And I think that number was 2,500,000. And you can see it just continuing to slope down in fits and starts. Right? It's here. It leveled off, came down, leveled off, came down, leveled off. I mean, are we just going to keep doing this? I don't know. But we need to get more inventory online. Cumulative days on market. Houses are selling quickly. We're at 37 days for a house to sell, which is, again, sloping down. The blue is the month-to-month. The yellow is a 3-month rolling. and the orange is a 12-month rolling. Just a couple quick hits on condos. We were positive 8%, call it, for November. Closed sales, we closed 15% more. This is the same information on both of these charts, just graphically different. Pending home sales, this is why I think we're going to be up, of course, because pending home sales are plus 24.9%. Median price is up 8%. Nationally, we were up 16% on the index. And the Case-Shiller, we increased from September to October 1.5%, and annually from October 2019 at 9.5%. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. This Case-Shiller is just the slow read, only in October, not November, but that's the latest read. And then this is just the longer view. And you can see Boston has outpaced the nation for the past, 10 years, but following the same trend. And that's it. That's my very quick down and dirty review. I hope you enjoyed the new format with a little bit of tunes, and leave a message and I'll be sure to get back to you. Goodbye.